இதுல வந்து நார்மல் டூர்ஸ் டிராவல்ஸ் உடைய ரிப்போர்ட் வந்திருக்குது. நார்மலா இதுல வந்து நம்ம நீங்க கவுண்டர் சென்ட் பண்ணுவீங்க சார். அப்படிங்களா? சரி. அதனால இது இப்ப நிதியில நம்ம இங்க கொடுத்த விவசாயி
Hello, Megan.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Same
So,
here.
are you ready for the live?
Yes, all set.
Okay, all right, Megan. We are supposed to start at 2:30, so we'll take 5 minutes. Then
No
people
worries.
join in.
Sure, will do.
Okay,
will do.
please
I'm
wait
right
for
here.
please wait for another 5 minutes and we will start.
All right, all right.
And Megan, what are you going to show us today?
So I'll be starting off with the orientation of the museum. Post that, I'll be taking them to the sculpture gallery. After the sculpture gallery, I'll be taking them to the pre and the proto history gallery. So I actually have brought a few stone tools here, which I'll actually be showing them. And yes, and I'll be talking to them about it. Then I also have some of the replica objects like the dancing girl from the Harappan civilization. So we'll be showing them some of that. And we'll go on the first floor. We will see one or two objects from the Himalayan art gallery and miniature paintings. And last, I will go to the rhino in the natural history section.
Oh, fantastic. What a beautiful celebration. I hope everybody joins and they get to be a part of this wonderful show. Thanks, Megan. Thanks for your effort. We will start after 5 minutes.
Sure, sure. All right.
Hello, Shatrupa. Hello. Hello, Shatrupa.
Hello. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I am fine, Shatrupa. How are you?
Yeah, after a long time.
I know.
Yeah,
So,
I'm meeting in webinars again.
Hey, yeah, very nice, Shatrupa.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
so
ma'am, how
much,
are the students? They're doing well?
Because I are doing well, and we have started yoga club also in our college.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
you very badly. And, see, I think you are recording. Are you recording the program? Are you recording?
Okay,
the
okay.
program?
I will record this. I am not doing it, but I will record this.
Will you? No, will you send me? Will you send me that so that I can show to some other students? Now history students will join. Huh? Right. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Hema ma'am, we are recording this.
No, after you record, will you send me that recorded copy so that when the students come back in June, I can show them?
Yeah, I will send you. I'll
Interesting.
send you.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So they are not joining us from their homes?
No, they will join. Now they will join because your
Okay.
tourism club history students will join. All
Oh,
others,
fantastic.
I'll make some more members after June. So
Okay.
to them, I'll just show this and then enroll the members. Okay.
Yeah, I think we have enough participants. So, sir,
Not
can we
today.
start now? Sir, can we start now?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So welcome everyone for this wonderful celebration of International Museum Day. Now, the problem with International Museum Day is that it will always come in the summer vacation. So whenever we are trying to get hold of you, bring you to our nearby museum, you are all staying at your home. So, but thanks to the technology, that we are reaching you at your home, and I hope you enjoyed today's live. Today we'll be taking you to this world-class museum of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya, which is in Bombay. And before that, I'd like you to hear from our regional director, He is going to address you for a bit, and then after that we start our tour. So please.
Thank you, Satrupa, and namaste and good afternoon to all of you who have joined here this afternoon. I know YTCs have been quite active, and our idea was to somehow bring the young minds, the students, etc., and to enable them to appreciate the museum and relate to the museum, especially the museums which are there in their own hometown. I have seen many, from my own experience, that many of us underrate the museums which are in our own neighborhood. Either we think that, oh, pass me here, nearby, will be some other day, or we just say, oh, it's boring, etc. But then museums are something which cannot be missed. The importance of museum is something which it will relate and connect us with our past, our rich cultural, historical, and religious history. And it's really a great educative tool, I would say. When you visit a museum, you can spend hours and hours if you're really an art enthusiast and you appreciate the value of history and the heritage that has gone through. And as we all know, like the International Museum Day, which is on 18th of May today, aims to create awareness among the people about the great contributions that museum make to society. And we are today lucky to present to you on what you call a virtual walkthrough of one of India's most important and premium museums, the Chhatrapati Shivaji Vastu Sangrahalaya. In fact, I have had living in Bombay for some time, had the privilege to be here, and it is really spectacular. For those who have not been physically to this, I would really encourage at some point, whenever you're in Bombay, never miss this. And as I said, this museum has got an amazing collection, and we have an expert from here, Megan, who's going to take us through this journey. And not taking much time, I again wanted to stress this fact that please patronize our museums. You will really kind of feel good, and the support that we give to our museum is real support to preserving and appreciating our history, culture, heritage, religion, whatsoever which is in the past. Thank you once again, and over to you, Megan.
Yeah, sir, but let me introduce Megan first to our participants. So Megan Baz is from CSMVS, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya, and she is an educator, she is a curriculum developer, and she has also been the trainer of the teachers. So Megan looks very young, but she is a very, very experienced person. Thanks, Megan, for being with us, and thanks to CSMVS to let this happen. Thanks to the Director General of CSMVS who has allowed us this program. And we are really happy to bring all this to you today. Perfect celebration of International Museum Day. Thanks, everyone. Megan, you can start.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for that beautiful introduction. And thank you so much, ma'am. Yes. So hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'll begin today's session with introducing you to our museum. Okay, so let me show you what our museum looks like. So I'm sharing my screen. I hope you all can see my screen now. It's still loading on your page. Yes, it's finally loaded. Yes, so this year that you see is the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya, also known as the CSMVS, the Museum Mumbai. And this museum is a very, very old museum. The museum this year has completed 101 years of service to the public. Okay, the museum is a two-story structure. As you can see, this is the ground floor. Okay, this right here is the first floor, and above is the second floor. Okay, the museum is built in the Indo-Saracenic style of architecture, which is a blend of the Hindu style, the Islamic style, and the Victorian style of architecture. When these three styles of architecture come together, it forms the Indo-Saracenic style. Now, let me show you where you can find these elements. If you look very closely at these pillars here, yes, there are 8 different pillars around. These pillars are similar to what you would find in temples, okay? And if you look right on the top here, you can see arches and you can also see the round dome. The round dome that you see is the copy of the Gol Gumbaz of Bijapur and also symbolizes the Islamic style of architecture. In some parts of the museum building, we also have the Victorian Art Assemble. Yes, okay. The museum building was completed in 1912, but did not open as a museum until 1922. The museum served as an army hospital for wounded soldiers during World War I, and then again as a hospital during the influenza pandemic. In 1922, the museum opened its doors to the public. Yes, the first gallery that we're going to see today is the sculpture gallery. So I'm going to highlight 1 or 2 objects from each of these galleries. Okay, when you enter the sculpture gallery, it looks like that you are entering a temple. Okay, on the entrances of a temple, you would find dwarpals or guardians and gatekeepers. And when you enter inside the temple in the Garbhagriha, yes, you will find the main god and you will find the vehicle of that god. Okay, so this is how the gallery has been designed. Okay, so right here, you can see the beautiful stone sculpture of Lord Shiva. Very interestingly, this stone sculpture of Lord Shiva was found in a temple in Parel in Maharashtra. Okay, and it is made of the basalt rock. So most of the sculptures that you will see that have been found in the western parts of the region, okay, are made of the basalt rock. Basalt is a very prominent stone there. Now, how do we know that this god is Lord Shiva? Yes, if you look very closely, let me zoom in for you. You will see the third eye. You will see that he's holding a trishul. You will see that there is a snake that is coiled around him. Yes, and you will also see the Jatabara. Yes, and always with Shiva, you will find the Vahan Nandi. Okay, right here. So this is one of the oldest sculptures, again, approximately 1,000 years old. Okay, and very similar to the sculptures that you actually would find in the Elephanta caves. Okay, let's head on to the next sculpture. Okay, so you will see throughout in the gallery so many different beautiful sculptures. Imagine today we have so many different kinds of technology, but in those days, man did everything with his hand. Yes. Okay. So you could see beautiful sculptures of different gods and goddesses. It also tells us that which gods and goddesses were also popular during that time, the clothes and the ornamentation that they would wear during that time. Okay. Now, another interesting sculpture that I'd like to bring to all of your notice is right here. Okay, so I want all of you to type in the chat box and tell me, what do you see in this sculpture here? Yes. Come on, type in the chat box and tell me, what do you see? Do you see a man? Yes, you see a lion. You see a dancing lady. Nayan says that. Anshi says Narasimha. Okay. All right. A mythical lion. Okay. Ashvi says lion. All right. Okay. So let me tell you about the sculpture. Okay. So this is the story of King Tal fighting a lion. If you all have studied the Hoysala dynasty in school or in college, you would know about the Hoysala dynasty. Okay. And the story goes by, very relatable to the sculpture. So once upon a time, there was a monk who was passing by through the forest. okay, when he was approached by a huge lion. He was so scared of a lion that he climbs up a tree. So you can see him right here in this corner. Can you see him? He's right here. Okay. And just then, the king was passing by through the forest. Okay. And then this monk calls out to the king. And the king, galloping on his horse, okay, gets down from his horse. You can see it all happening here. The king is on his horse here. He gets down from the horse. And now you can see he's ready to fight the lion. Okay. You can see him with a shield in his hand and a sword in his hand. And you can see that this lion is a very fierce lion. You can see his bulging eyes and his fierce claws. Okay. And lions are said to be very ferocious beasts. Okay. So the king is said to have defeated the lion. Okay. And hence the lion becomes the emblem of the Hoysala dynasty. Okay. You will see hunting dogs in the sculpture as well. Can you see these dogs right here? One is right here and one is right here below. Okay. How do we know that they're hunting dogs? You can see collars right around their necks. Okay. And it's a scene of the forest because you can see a lot of trees around. And with that, you can also see an elephant there. Okay. This sculpture is made in the dolerite stone. Most of the sculptures in southern India are made of sandstone or the dolerite stone. Okay. And dolerite stone is a very, very difficult stone to carve on. Any mistake on the dolerite stone, the entire stone may break. Okay. It's also known as soft stone. Okay. So this is one of an interesting sculpture again. Now let's see something else. Okay, so we have beautiful sculptures here as well. You can see Sheshashai Vishnu. This is supposed to be on the ceiling slab of a temple. Okay, it's beautiful sculpture again. Okay, so right here, you can see many sculptures. So those sculptures that you see on that side were Hindu sculptures. Sculptures that you can see here are Buddhist and Jain sculptures. So here you can see, okay, the Buddha seated. Okay, he is seated in a meditating posture. Okay, you can see the long ears of the Buddha. Okay, he is seated in a Dhyani Mudra position. Okay, and you can see him that he is very deep into meditation. This Buddha belongs to the Gupta period and is again a very old and rare collection. Okay, it's made of granite. Let's move on a little bit ahead now. Okay, there is one interesting sculpture that I want to show all of you, which is right here. So this sculpture right here, which you all can see. So I know that all of you have heard about Bahubali, right? So the story of Bahubali goes by that, he was a king. He wanted to, he had a brother and he's said to be the son of Rishabhnath, a Tirthankar. Okay. And he and his brother Bharata did fight continuously. And Bahubali thought to himself that, what is the use of all of this fighting? And he left everything he had and he went into the forest to meditate. Okay, so here you can see Bahubali in a meditating posture. You can also see around him, there are creepers that are growing. Okay, and there are anthills, which tells us that Bahubali was so deep into meditation that nothing could stop him then. Okay, you will see most of the meditating figures that you will see have long ears. Okay, his eyes are closed. You can see that he has very broad shoulders because Bahubali is said to be a very, very strong man. Okay, so this is a little bit about him. Okay, he is still worshipped by a few sects in Karnataka. Okay. So now we'll move on to the next. The next gallery that we are going to see is the pre and the proto history gallery. Okay. This is one of my favorite galleries again. And you will see here many different kinds of stone tools. So I too have stone tools that I'm going to show you. Okay. So the oldest stone tool that you can see is the hand axe. Okay. And I have a hand axe right here with me. Okay. So this hand axe that you can see is very, very old. It is approximately 150,000 years old. Okay. Now, this hand axe, if you see, it does not fit in my hand, which tells us that early man's hands were very, very big. And it took a long time, okay, for man to actually evolve. Okay, that is what the hand axe tells us. A hand axe was used for hunting, okay, other animals. Now, right here, I have another hand axe. Okay, can you see that? You will also see the differences between the two. This one is very big and does not fit in my hand, as well as this one that you can see is very, very small. Okay, and it is also very refined as compared to that other one, where man could put his palm in here, use his opposable thumb, and then go for hunting. That was what this hand axe was used for. Today, you all have your knives and scissors. In those days, there were no knives and scissors. So what did man do then? He used a stone cleaver. Okay. It's again a multi-purpose tool. Okay. This side of it was used for cutting the meat or for skinning of the animal. And this side of it was used for breaking hard nuts, shells, the bones, okay, of the animal. That was what this was used for. Okay. And slowly and steady, when man began to settle down, agriculture becomes the main occupations. And now you can see his stone tools have also started to change. Okay. This side of it was used for digging the soil. This part of it was used for cutting the crops. Okay. Stone tools are very old. And stone tools tell us a lot about our past. Okay. They also tell us about the animals that lived. Okay. So in the earlier times, the bigger the stone tool, probably the bigger was the size of the animal. Okay. Now, let us go back inside the museum gallery. So you will see big stone tools here, like the hand axes. And as we move on ahead, okay, these are not stone tools. Let me tell you, these that you see here are actually fossils. We do not know to which animal or reptile this fossil belongs to, but we do have a small collection of fossils. Okay, right here, you will see some of the Neolithic stone tools. Okay, so you will see the axes, you will see, I showed you the celt just now. Yes, this is the celt right there. Okay, right here. You will also see the mortar and the pestle. Okay, let's move on ahead. Okay, now slowly, as man begins to settle down, you will have a blooming civilization. Okay, and that was when we had a Harappan civilization or the Indus Valley civilization. So what you see here are some of the remains of the Harappan or the Indus Valley civilization. You have plates, you have pots, okay, you have a dish on stand, okay, you have perforated jars, you have so many different kinds of pots. Today, pots are made with using so many different kinds of technologies. The Harappans made wheel-made pots and handmade pots, okay? And terracotta that we call is big mud, okay? If we move on a little bit more ahead, you will see some of the Harappan jewelry right here made of different kinds of beads. And right here, you will see different kinds of toys that the Harappan children would play with. Okay, so you will see many different kinds of toys. They've also found a pangolin and a rhino. Okay, the pangolin and the rhino that you see, okay, today pangolins are critically endangered species. You do not find them everywhere. But if the Harappans drew them, okay, or made them out of clay, tells us that they were seen during those times. Same thing with the rhino. The rhino is only found in the eastern part of India. Yes, in the Kaziranga belt. But if the Harappans seen them, that means they did spread over a huge stretch of land. Okay. Right here, I have a pangolin toy that I will show you. Okay, I'll just stop sharing my screen so that you can see it. Can you see the scales right here? Yes. This is one toy. I want you to guess what would this one be. Guess what this toy could be. Very good, Varun. It's a turtle tortoise. Yes, absolutely. Nayan, Swaranch, Manas. Yes, Nandini. Good job, everyone. All right. I have another one here, and I want you to guess what this one could be. Look very carefully. Can you see it? Yes, an ox, a bull, a humped bull. Can you see it? It's a humped bull. Okay. Right here. Can you see? What could this thing be? Sheep, goat. Very good. Yes, this is the head of a ram. Absolutely. And one very distinct feature of the Harappan civilization, we call it the proto-historic civilization. Okay, can you see it here? I will bring it closer to you, but I want you to see its height. It's only this big. Now I'm bringing it closer.
I think, Megan, all of us have seen this in their history books.
Okay.
It was really exciting to see them live.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, so this is none other than the dancing girl. Absolutely, Nayan. This is the dancing girl. You see, researchers, why I'm showing you this is because researchers have spent years studying about the dancing girl. Yes, and it's also questionable that we call her the dancing girl. She could be a mother, she could be a warrior, she could be a homemaker. But because British and European archaeologists call her the dancing girl, and even today, we as well call her the dancing girl. The same goes with the priest king. Okay, is he a priest? Is he a king? It's quite questionable. Okay, that's why we call him the priest king. Okay, so that is why I wanted to show you the dancing girl. Okay, and so the last that I have is another interesting figurine. Okay, these are mother goddesses. Okay, you can see them here. All right. Okay, so let's go back inside the gallery. You can see a Harappan toy cart as well. Okay. And this is that part of the gallery. Now we will go to the first floor. Okay, this is the first floor circle gallery. And I'm going to take you to a very, very new and interesting section. This gallery that you can see here is the Himalayan Art Gallery. Himalayan Art Gallery is the art. Himalayan art is the art that comes from the Himalayas. So right here in the center, you can see the Maitreya Buddha who is seated. Okay, Maitreya Buddha is also said to be the future Buddha or the Buddha who is yet to come. Okay, so you can see Maitreya Buddha here as well. Okay. Yes, and along with that, you will also be able to see different small bronze sculptures or miniatures of different kinds of Buddhas. Okay, so if you're in college, you all will have learned about the medicine Buddha, Buddha Padmapani, Buddha Avalokiteshvara. There are many different kinds of Buddhas, and all of them have a certain meaning. Okay, and right here is this beautiful small miniature figurine of King Songtsen Gempo. King Songtsen Gempo was said to be the first king who had introduced Buddhism in Tibet. He had two wives. One wife was from Nepal and the second wife was from China. The wife who came from China brought in the image of the Buddha with her. And eventually, Buddhism was introduced in Tibet and it spread far and wide. Okay. After Songtsen Gempo's death, he was deified. Okay. So he too became a god to them. Okay. And for the last, I would like to take you all to the natural history section. Okay. Just give me 1 minute to share my screen. All right. Okay, right here that you can see, it's still loading for all of you. I'll just give it a moment. Yes, this here that you can see is the Great Indian One-Horned Rhino. Now, the museum has a huge collection of natural history exhibits. We have 395 different species of taxidermied bird exhibits, 80 different species of mammals, and 448 different specimens of fish, amphibians, and reptiles. The birds and the mammals gallery that you are seeing, okay, all of these animals are real, which means their skin is real. Okay, all of their skin is real. Okay, the rhino that you see right here in the gallery, this rhino used to live in the Baikala Zoo and was brought to the museum in the 1980s. It died because it had a cancer in the upper jaw. His name was Yasin. Okay, the female rhino is also inside the mammals gallery. And you see rhinos are even today being hunted and killed. And can you type in the chat box and tell me why are they being hunted and killed even today? What is the reason for hunting and killing of rhinos? Yes. Okay, for their horn, for their skin, absolutely. So yes, mostly for their horn. Very good, Hitashvi, Nayan, Om. Yes, absolutely. Anshi, Sparsh, good job. Okay, so the rhino's horn, okay, people believe that it is very helpful. It's a very it is used for medicines. Okay, but the rhino's horn is used. The rhino's horn is made of the same material that makes our hair and nails. Now, you tell me, if you would eat your hair and nails, would you feel better? Absolutely not. Okay. So it's no use, it's just superstition that people are still killing the rhinos today. And you see, because of this continuous poaching and killing the rhinos for their horn, they just cut off the rhino's horn and they leave the rhino to bleed to death. You see, because of these continuous huntings, rhinos today are being born without their horns. So you see how the rhinos are also evolving like that. Okay. And you will also see many different birds in the birds gallery as well. So all of these birds and mammals, their skin is real. Okay. But what is inside is not. Okay. This is the process that we call as taxidermy that is conducted on these animals. It's a very lengthy process. Knowledge of animals, okay, and knowledge of art, because taxidermy is an art. okay, is also as important as well. Okay. So yes, so I hope you all enjoyed the tour. Yes, and I've seen you all responding also very well. Does anybody have any questions for me, or how do we go about this? Ma'am, you can take over.
Yeah, you can type your questions in the chat box and we can take them one by one. And now that, all these things you can see in Bombay. If you come to Bombay, you can visit this museum. And it's an amazing museum. Once you go inside, you will find these guides, which are audio guides. You can actually hire these audio guides and you can go on your own. I will tell you, you can spend 7 days inside this museum, going from one gallery to another. And this is an excellent way to learn. So people who are already in Bombay, please come to CSMBS. And people who are watching us from other cities, please come to Bombay to visit CSMBS. So do we have any questions?
Yes, yes, we do.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just see the questions. One moment. Okay. So the first question is, what is Jatabara? Okay, so Jatabara, as you can see, Lord Shiva has the crown, and you can see all of his hair is curled into a jata. Okay, so that is why it is called a Jatabara. Okay, so why does the Buddha have long ears? Okay, so most of the people most of the Buddhas or the enlightened ones that we say have long ears. Okay, there's a very philosophical thought towards it. Okay, to make the suffering stop, he would have to give up so many things and wanting things. Okay, so that is why you will see the long years of the Buddha. Okay, is someone who has renounced everything. That's why you have long years of the Buddha. Okay.
So long years may be also a symbol of knowledge.
Yes.
So our Ganpati also has very long years. He's a very knowledgeable god.
Absolutely. Yes, and you can see how two religions can also be very similar as well. Absolutely. Yes. Manas has a question. What is the age of the hand axe? So the hand axes that I showed you are approximately 1,50,000 years. The small one that I showed you is approximately 1 lakh years to 80,000 years old. Yes.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Okay. Okay. As you mentioned, this museum is served as an army hospital. Did it suffer from any damage during the war time? No, no. It only served as a hospital for wounded soldiers. It did not suffer any damage as such.
And tell us the past name of the museum.
Okay, the past name of the museum, yes, is the Prince of Wales Museum of Western India. The foundation stone of the museum was laid in 1905 by the then Prince King George V, who later became the king. And not only that, you would see after the museum building, after the building being built, the museum started to collect all of its collections. So this was one of the earliest museums at that time. That is why you see we have so many different sculptures that come from different parts of India. That is why it was called the Prince of Wales Museum of Western India. Okay. What are the things used by Shivaji Maharaj kept? So we do have of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, we have his portrait. We have some of the Peshwa swords. We have a few Vagnats, and we also have a few Deccani style paintings as well of the few Peshwas. Yes. Anybody else?
And this Mughal gallery is also very, very exciting. And I think the children will love the weapons gallery also. You can actually see all these swords and beautiful knives, and this collection of snuff boxes is amazing, amazing.
Yeah, Megan, you should also tell them about what special rates that you give for children's entry and all, so that you know
Okay.
this. Yes.
Sure.
And the
So,
working hours.
okay. So the museum is open every day from 10:15 to 6 o'clock in the evening. And our entry tickets for children 5 to 15 years with ID cards are 35 rupees an entry ticket and 150 rupees an entry ticket for an adult. Okay. If you want, ma'am, I can, if they're very interested in seeing the weaponry section, I can just, quickly
Yeah, that
take them
would be
around.
awesome. That will be a very nice ending.
Yeah, I'll just do that. Give me one moment. Somebody asked a question. In which year was Mahatma Gandhi born? 2nd October 1869. Okay. I'll just share my screen again. So I will go to the second floor. 1 minute. I've not yet shared my screen. Okay, so this is the second floor of the museum building. Ma'am was talking about the snuff bottles. Okay, I'll just quickly show you these snuff bottles, which are right here. They're very small, okay? But the art on all of these snuff bottles, okay, is very, very intricate. So snuff, which means to smell. So usually medicines were put inside this bottle. And you also had opium, which was also put inside these bottles. Okay, so there are snuff bottles that you can see right here. And okay, let's go to the arms and the armor section. Okay. So right here, you can see the different kinds of swords. Okay, so there are many, many different kinds of weapons. Weapons were used right from the Stone Age. Here you have different kinds of weapons that were used for offense and defense. Again, you will also see animal-inspired weapons. Okay, weapons that have been inspired from a snake, like the one that you can see here. You will also see swords and you will see talwars. Swords and talwars are very different. Okay, swords are double-edged. Talwars are mostly single-edged. Okay, so you can see them right here. You can see the beautiful hilts of the swords or the handle of the swords. These beautiful swords that you see, okay, the very good looking ones, they were never used in war. Okay, the ones that are not looking that great or don't look pretty were the ones that were used in war. These beautiful swords that you see, they were used by king or by nobles or by important people when they would go to meet ministers or when they would go to the public or when they wanted to meet public. Okay. And you will see different kinds of swords here. You have different weapons here, the crossbow and all of that. Okay, you can see different kinds of shields here. Okay. Can you see the shield right here in the corner down? Yes, this shield right here is a very special shield, which is made out of the turtle shell. Okay, it's a very interesting shield that you can see. The shield above it here is a dowry shield. So initially, when the girls were to give, when the brides were to give the grooms, money and jewelry and all of that, a shield was also given along with it. This shield, this dowry shield that you see, is made of the rhinoceros hide. Okay, and you will see other shields here. The beautiful ones that you will see made of steel. You can see some very old guns here. And my favorite, you will see again, you will see right here is the breastplate and the helmet of Emperor Akbar. Okay, you will also see his shield here. His shield is said to have the zodiac signs. It's not very clear here, but you can see it. And the Vagnak, where can I find it? Let me see. Okay, so these are some of the Maratha daggers and weapons. The Vagnak is right here. You can see it here. Okay, it's right here. okay, which is also known as tiger claw. Okay. Yes. So I hope you all enjoyed the tour, and we do have collections that come from China, from Japan, from Europe. Okay, we do have some Gandharan sculptures as well. Apart from the other collection, we also have a mummy which is currently on display at the museum. Okay. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, Megan, can you tell our students, most of our viewers today are students and some teachers and coordinators are also there, and they are all from the western central of India and also the whole of South India. So everybody joined today for a tour of CSMBS. So that's a very variety of attendance we have today with us, and we are very grateful for them, spending their time with us. But Megan, can you please tell them about these interesting workshops also CSMBS is doing for the students?
Yes, so we have a lot of different workshops. We do teacher training programs. Okay, for those of you who are teachers in schools, we have teacher training programs of how you can use museum objects in everyday teaching, not only in history, but in other varied disciplines. Apart from that, we do a lot of other workshops. We have the Sunday art class, we have the master class series. Every special day, like International Museum Day is one of it. We celebrate Environment Day, Ocean Day. All of these different days are celebrated as well. Yes, you can follow us on our Instagram page, CSMVS Mumbai, and our Facebook page to know more about our events.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, people who are just sitting at home in vacation, you can think about coming over to CSMBS, join one of their workshops, and make this vacation very memorable for you. So the teachers also, if you can inspire your students to come and take a visit, India Tourism will help you. For all our Yuva Tourism Club members, we always help them to visit CSMBS. Recently, we had a very long, tour of CSMBS where these textiles were on exhibit, and we had taken the students to CSMBS to attend those workshops and see a bit of the museum also. So we will always help you. If you're interested, just let us know. Thanks, Megan, for being with us. Thank you, sir, for spending your time with us. You have been there for the whole program. I did not expect it, but you were still there. Can you please give us the concluding remarks?
Thank you very much, Satrupa, together to bring all our YTCs. My special thanks to all the participants. It's 2:30 on a holiday. It's the siesta time, but then you all joined us and supported us. And in fact, I couldn't miss this because it's one of my favorite museums actually. And today, what she has shown through technology, the virtual, really it was feeling like being inside the museum, because the quality of the virtual reality that the museum has produced is really world class. It looks, especially, even if you go to the museum, you cannot get into the glass panes. But then sitting here, I was able to kind of see how the emperor's armor was so clear, etc. So Megan, thanks so much. I think I'm very sure our young participants today would have been really some small kindle. We would have ignited a small flame in them about the interest in museum. And children, wherever you are, ask your parents, go around and explore the local museums. Nothing like it. And then once you finish the local museum, then move to your bigger museum in the state, then come out of the state. So keep on exploring museum. It is really, really an interesting place to spend time. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. We are going to end our meeting. So a very happy International Museum Day to all of you.